Game Over 86 coming back with a beautiful Monday video, and I hope you guys had an incredible weekend. I appreciate every single one of you guys for the recent support. A bunch of subscribers have subscribed to me over the Sega and over the Xbox Sad videos, so thank you guys for the support. Thank you for the kind comments. I hope I could reach out to all of you guys. I tried to message a lot of you back, and there were just a lot of people out there, but I did happen to read every comment. But I do appreciate you guys as well. Welcome to my channel. Everybody that has been supporting me since day one, welcome back, guys. Let me know down in the comments, like we always do, what game that you played over the weekend or over the last week. What was one big game that you really enjoyed, or what is one big game that you picked up, whether it be Days Gone. A lot of people were saying that's kind of gotten up and downs. I haven't personally purchased it yet, so I can't make a decision on what I want. I've seen some of the reviews. Some of them were buggy, glitchy, and stuff like that, just to go over a little bit of quick things with that. But I'll probably end up picking that game up later on down the road. I'm going to wait a little bit on it. It was an okay game when I first seen it. I was kind of anticipating it being a little bit better, but, you know, Sony Bend Studios, not saying that they're bad or anything. They're the ones that are big time known for, like, siphon filters and stuff like that back in the day. Most recent would have been, like, the PSP or the PS Vita, excuse me, with the Golden Abyss on Uncharted game. So it's kind of cool to see them kind of back. Depends on how it gets. I seen that it's like a 72 Metacritic. You guys know how I am. Everybody that knows me that's been here for the long run knows I don't care about Metacritic scores and whatnot. I always go by personal opinion myself. Yeah, I can see other people's opinions and all that and reviews, but I always like to just, yes, I look at it, and if it's a complete, you know, utter chaos like Anthem was, and like Sea of Thieves, even though I played that one, and State of Decay 2, and there were some other games that came along that just didn't turn out to be that well, like Agony and other recent games. I sometimes try to stay clear of them. I always try to give them a chance, though, whether it be garbage or not, just because if it's an okay price, I might as well just check out the game. Now, to get to what we're talking about, and what I'm going to be talking about, is the Nintendo Labo. And I would show you guys some video footage of this, but it's so hard to capture for me. And the quality of the games, which we'll get into, is a bit lackluster, especially the Zelda add-on. And I know a lot of people bought Nintendo Labo waiting for, obviously, the new updates with Super Mario Odyssey. There were some levels in there that are kind of cool. And just to kind of give you guys thumbs up, a little bit of idea of what that would look like if anybody played the PlayStation VR. It would be like Astrobot, that has been showcased a lot, and it would be like Moss, just to kind of give you guys a couple games. You follow Mario around in this world, which is still pretty cool. I'm going to talk a little bit about how I thought VR should have been, in my opinion, and how it is. Now, I understand it is cardboard when it all comes down to it. There are some cool features to this. And let me just lay one thing out, guys. I bought this for my kid. This is my kid's birthday gift. And we set it up together. That's why there's no video unboxing of this or anything. Like, I built it with her because it's hers. But I did check out some of them games on here, and I just want to give you guys my personal opinion on them. The Mario Odyssey games levels were thought of. They look like they've put in some time into it, and they're great. I think it's cool for a kid to check that out, even for an adult. My only downfall with that, always, and we'll get into it more later on, but you have to hold it. I mean, you have to have it up here, and you have to hold it and move it around and everything. And it's not like it's a big deal, you know, if it's for kids, because you're not going to be playing like 3-4 hour sessions. You shouldn't play VR in 3-4 hour sessions anyway, in my personal opinion. But like, some of the features on here, this is to hold it all the way on just in case it comes apart, but your Switch will fit in here. Now, I've noticed the downfall is that the Joy-Cons kind of were a tight fit on the corner, as you guys can see, and we're going to go ahead and show you a little bit on that, on how it fits in there. But why I'm doing this and why I'm taking off the Joy-Cons, getting ready to put it in there, I just want to state that a lot of the games in the card that came with the starter kit were cool. A lot of them were unique, you know, to say the least. There were a couple things that were a little lackluster, like the camera or the controller designs when you're sitting there and you're trying to, you know, hit something, playing tennis or baseball or just platform jumping is a little bit easier. But when it comes to swinging the racket, it just didn't seem like it lined up with your headset and the controller and everything. If you wanted to go, you know, use your Joy-Cons out here. But as you guys can see, I have my Nintendo Switch in there. And when you put the controllers in here, I'm not saying that it's not a tight fit. I mean, it does fit in here. It does fit in here. But if you want to put it, you know, if you got your kid out there, this is the downfall I ran into. Yes, I understand it's just cardboard. But if somebody's paying $300 and puts this Labo on for their kid, this is supposed to help hold on just in case this breaks apart and your Switch don't fall and break. Now, as you guys can all see, this ain't me hating Nintendo, but as you can see, the cardboard can't fit on here. And even if I take off the Joy-Cons, which I'll do right now, and I will show you guys. Now, they made it, I guess, for this way, and then your Joy-Cons to be freely, because now I can't lock them in, which I still think's not that great, because you have to hold your hand now with one hand and use your Joy-Con like, oops, hit the mic, I'm sorry. You have to use your Joy-Con in one hand, and it's like, for a kid, and this is where we'll get into some of the technical things, fun and bad, or I should say good and bad. I get it. I get it. It's not a cash grab. I think they're going to put some more thought in behind this with Nintendo. This feature right here lets you hit the back button to where you can go back. You got to kind of guide yourself to select something and then you can just tap it. Now, I know some people just say screw this and put the Joy-Cons on. And I agree. I did it too. And if you build it right, it shouldn't come apart. But I think they should have had a better idea so that you can still have your Joy-Cons on right here. So if the kid's holding it or the adult, they can sit here like this and they can really focus in on what they're doing instead of having to have their one hand down here and one hand swinging it around, because it's kind of hard to guide around, especially if you're using that and you're moving around. It's kind of fun. Now, the downfalls, and we'll get into the good parts at the end, because I like to save sometimes the good things for the end rather than just the bad. But the bad is the visuals on Zelda are not that good. The bad is when the Joy-Cons can't connect to this for the safety measure for parents that are spending money on the Switch and then the VR. You got to have some kind of, I think, protection to where if the kids want to have the Joy-Cons connected, they can still feel protected that the Switch ain't going to fall out. Because they're kids, you know, kids are going to be swinging it around, not paying attention, not understanding. They may run into a wall. You know, they may do something crazy. I understand. But I still think that Nintendo should focus on maybe making a newer feature. And I think that would benefit it better to where if the Joy-Cons get slide in and you still have that protective sleeve come over the top. Or at least, you know, on the sides, like it comes down, it just kind of wraps here. So you can still use all these buttons and functions. That's one thing. And then, like I said, with Zelda VR, I would show you gameplay, but dude, it was so hard to capture first off, but it was so, it messed with me, man. My eyes were hurting after like 10 minutes. It was just not a good quality picture. And it was just, motion sickness didn't really hit me, but after like 5 minutes in, it was starting to really hit because of how much you can move freely. And you have to hold it up there, which is kind of a bummer. That's my next thing I want to get into. I still think the Labo should have had some type of strap. And I know people say, well, it's just cardboard. Yeah, I get it. But it's cardboard holding a $300 tablet. You know, Nintendo Switch or whatever you want to call it. And if you can see, you know, that if you're going to spend a lot of money on a Switch, they should at least give you something to where you can slide it over your head. Now, I've seen videos where people tie a shirt around your head. If somebody says, oh, why don't you just do that? Because I'm a consumer and we shouldn't have to do that. The company that makes this should have already thought of that. They should have already said, you know what? Kids are going to be using this. I don't think kids are going to be just holding their hands up like this and doing this. Now, I do believe they're going to take time and work on this. I think this is a very rough, you know, first time little pretty much try. I'm not saying Nintendo, you know, is the best at it, but when you look at this quality compared to the PlayStation VR or HTC Vive, to me, and this ain't me hating, it looks like a gimmick. It looks like a gimmick for kids. Not really adults. This is targeting kids. All the games in there were kid games. Mario's cool. The 2-3 levels or whatever. Zelda was just not fun at all to play like that. And then just all the capabilities that this thing doesn't have, that other ones have. Now, I know a lot of people say the price. Well, dude, the price wasn't that much. Well, if you think about it, I've seen people sell VR headsets for $80, just the headset. I've seen them sell it for $100. Now, I know for the full VR kit that comes with the camera, the bird, and everything, the pedal and whatnot, it's like $100, $80, $90 for everything. Comes with the VR headset too, the bazooka or blaster, or whatever you want to call it. So if you think about it, the people that are saying, well, it costs too much money, for what you're getting, I believe they should have at least had a strap, a safety button to help so your Switch don't fall out, possibly with the kids. As an adult, you're just going to sit on the couch and have your Switch, your Joy-Cons hooked in there. That's not a big deal, but mostly for the kid part. They should have found out a better way. Sorry about my voice, guys. But there was one other thing that I didn't like. And one of the features that I thought were kind of odd. And then we'll get into all the good. The last feature that I didn't like was when you hook up your Switch and you hook up everything and you're trying to, you're trying to play these games. And we were talking about it very briefly. And you have the Joy-Con. There was something between this and the Switch that just wasn't registering. Now, I don't know if they're going to come out with an update or not on it, which I think they probably will. But it just didn't look like it lined up. Like, I had to hold my Switch in an odd position for the racket. And I know there's a reset button. I did that, and it was still hard to kind of line up and hit the ball. Shooting a basketball, I mean, it was very Nintendo Wii, very first week of release, kind of how the Joy-Cons all were. I understand that they're going to work on it, but that's another complaint that I had kind of for a kid that was, it was kind of hard to figure the buttons out. And I'm an adult, and I was having trouble doing this and holding the Switch and trying to focus. So there's a lot of things that I think could be made easier if they make a newer version of this in the future, which I think they will. And I think they're going to make it with a strap, and I think it's going to be a little bit better, maybe a lot clearer. Now, the good features are there's like buttons in here, as you can see in between the nose. There'll be like a reset button. You can hit that if you're, if you're wanting to not hit this. There's a button up here to help select stuff, which is kind of cool because when you're holding it, you can just tap that button. Other cool features that I thought was very unique, and this is where I will say Nintendo is innovative, is when you buy it and you open up the box, you get a cartridge. And let me just show you what that is real quick. I have right here is the starter set with the blaster, or the bazooka, or whatever you want to call it. Now, I'm going to open it up to show you guys what I was talking about the game case. I'm not going to show you everything in here because I think a lot of people have already seen. I'm still working on the blaster, by the way. And I'll explain a little bit more in detail what that is. Anyway, it comes with a, which I already put the, comes in with like the games, but it also has an instruction like manual. Now, I do have to say the instruction manual was really cool how they designed it. It was in great detail. You could rotate the cardboard, how it looks, but just the animations in it when you complete it and snap and it rockets off with the Joy-Cons. That was cool. I really thought that was cool because when you look at instructions and you look at stuff of building, I think honestly, as any adult or even kids out there that have put stuff together that don't like to have to always read the instructions, have to flip back and forth through papers, this was kind of like an animated, not fully animated, but animated to where you had fun putting it together rather than them not even showing you how to put it together. I thought that was cool and unique. Now, I'm new to the Nintendo VR. I don't know if they did that with the other ones that came recently before all this with like the robot backpack thing and then the controller. I'm new to this, so if it's like that, leave that down in the comments, let me know. So this was kind of cool. Me and my kids sat there and we watched it. We set it together. It was fun to do. Now, the only downfall is that it does take a lot of time to put these together. So a kid, that's 7, 8, maybe 9, even under, or even 12 and under, I think some of them just don't want to sit there that long and have to build this. So I pretty much, for the most part, was putting it all together. You got to hold down the button and kind of fast forward through some of it that you already know. But for the most part, it was fun. Some of the games in there you'll unlock as you get new stuff. But it shows you how to build everything, as you can see, which is cool. I really did like that. But as we're talking about the VR and everything that comes with it, and a lot of the features, I want to show you guys before I end the video. As you can see, this kit here doesn't have the protection, the part that fits over here protective wise. to keep the Switch from falling out. Now, and it's cool. I know some people will say, hey, you know, take that off and just put the Joy-Cons on. But the point is who's to say that this thing won't ever fall apart? And who's to say that these things, you know, $300 tablet, I mean, not everybody has money just to replace something from just, you know, failure of just the kid being young and not knowing how to hold it, or from it, you know, being not a strap to where your kids can have hands, you know, free from just playing and using the Joy-Con. There's a lot of features that I look off, even in this box with the elephant. You know, there's going to be stuff that the kid's going to have to hold to its head and still use. And I think that they need to really fix or maybe make a strap for the headset to where your kids will have more hands free. Because it does look easy on the box right here, but some of the stuff that people are holding and some of the stuff that the people are doing, yes, it shows the kid looking down. Yes, it shows all this other features on here. But when you look at it from a parent's aspect or point of view or an adult point of view, you really start to look at it and you go, okay, it does look fun. Some of these games do look really fun. I haven't been able to check them all out. But it's still mostly targeted for my kid. And holding it there, my 7-year-old and even my 9-year-old, it's hard for them to hold it up like this that long and play it and enjoy it. And with all the other features, I know I don't own them all, but with the bazooka blaster and all that stuff, it just looks like if they had the strap to where, you know, if you want to just take your hands off and rest it for a second and then re-grip it, you don't have to really change the whole thing. And it just seems like it would be too, I guess I'm trying to say like your arms, I mean, maybe people could just hold their arms up like this the whole time and go around and hold them out like this. I'm not saying it's not tiring, but as a kid, I think kids aren't always focusing on that. They're really focusing on the gameplay. And with all these other features, they gotta, you know, if they're younger, they gotta kind of learn to where it's all at and the buttons and whatnot. So there is a learning curve, I think, for kids. But for an adult, it wasn't really for me. I did like the Mario Odyssey levels. I did enjoy it. And it did bring me back to like, wow, how far and how long it's been with me growing up Nintendo back in the 80s and the 90s and the mid-2000s. It was kind of cool to see Mario in a different realm. But then again, it's not like it's a must. I don't think a lot of people are really going to be picking up on this. In the future, it may be if it becomes better, and I mean the headset especially. But as far as the Labo VR games, some of them look cool, some of them are kind of gimmicky, and then others look like they have some potential. And I just hope Nintendo focuses on that to, you know, going forward as a main kind of thing. That would be kind of cool to see, especially how the VR is made. And it's a unique box, you know, the lens and everything like that. It was cool to use. It was cool just to try out. But would I purchase this right now? No, I wouldn't. If I was just a regular person watching this, if you don't have kids, I wouldn't purchase it at all. If you have kids, maybe I can see why you'd buy it for it being only $40 for the starter kit. I bought it because my kid loves the Nintendo Switch, and she loves Splatoon, and she loves Mario, and she loves all them games. She didn't try Zelda. She don't really like Zelda, but it's the point of, I think this is more or less targeting kids. I mean, as you guys can see here, there's no grown-ass adults really playing this game. I think this was mostly just for younger kids, maybe 12 and under. And I'm not saying it's not going to be fun. I'm just saying for it to be marketed towards 12 and under, they really made it, I think, more complicated for somebody that's 12 and under to use and to understand fully while holding the Switch. So above all else, it was a fun project to do. It wasn't my favorite one to do because of the building time, but it was overall fun. But if I had to choose whether or not to purchase this, I wouldn't. Even though, like I said, it was fun. It was just, it's kind of like a fad. And I'm not into fads. And I'm not into, you know, something that's just trending. And I think a lot of people are going to realize the same thing if they purchase this, that it just wasn't what they anticipated. So I want to know what you guys think, though, going forward. What you guys think about Nintendo Labo. Have you guys purchased it yet? Have you purchased the whole kit? Have you tried out other games? Let me know down in the comments if you guys are new to this channel and you want to support me going forward. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys ring that bell notifications. Hit the thumbs up and share this video. That is support enough. And leave me a comment down below and let me know what you guys think of the video. If you dislike the video, let me know what you guys dislike the video. Don't just hit the thumbs down 5 seconds into the video just because. Let me know what I may need to improve or what you didn't like about the video. And that is how we can all work together to make better quality content for not only myself, but for people that are out there watching. I'm GameOver86. I appreciate you guys very much for stopping by the channel. I love you. Take care of one another. Do a good deed and stay safe wherever you are and enjoy every game that you guys play. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.